We're excited to have you here. We're excited to be part of your world. We're excited to just be on this earth. I just turned 66 years of age yesterday, and the one thing that I'm happy for is I'm still here. Just thrilled to be here. Just lucky to be here. When I was 34, I had a heart attack, and the first sign anybody has any warning is death. And for some reason, I was left on this earth to do something, and I believe it was for two major purposes. One was to figure out how to take care of these two special needs children of mine. And number two is to teach you what I've learned and what I've learned to be able to do and how we've been able to do it. After I had that heart attack, I two things that really scared me. And number two is I've got two special needs children. I've got five children and I've got four grandchildren. But back in the day, I had these two special needs children. And I was worried about it. I wasn't sure how we were going to take care of these kids, and I wasn't sure how, if the government was going to take care of my kids. I don't think the government's going to take care of my kids. The government can't take care of itself, let alone my children. Government loses $1 trillion every 120 days. They're putting that onto the national credit card, an additional, $1 trillion. That's a problem. The government can't take care of itself. Government can't balance its own budget. So we need to find a better way. And I got very serious about it. I had a wonderful chat with my parents. I talked to them. I talked to other people. I talked to my friend Robert Allen, who's the author of the book called Multiple Streams of Income. And he said, Tom, go figure out how to make enough money that you can put your kids in whatever program you want and never ever regret it. And so my wife and I went to work and we started doing those things. We started finding little properties and flipping them. And then we found some we kept. We started doing little businesses and we'd get our little businesses up and running and make extra money. And then we'd reinvest all that money. We started buying long-term real estate and, we bought a whole bunch of real estate. And that's how the foundation got funded. I bought a little property and I bought it, for $250,000 and I got it basically with nothing down and I got a loan for that amount that went up in value up to be worth about $500,000. So it doubled in value, rule of 72. It takes 24 years for it to double at 3%. And all the loans got paid off to zero. So it's worth 500,000 and the loans are zero. So my profit's a $500,000. But I had 20 of them. So that's where we came up with and made $10 million doing real estate. And we gave three of that to the foundation. We gave some real estate away and some stock. And that's how the foundation was funded, was with the real estate and with some Berkshire Hathaway stock. But what I want to teach you today is I want to teach you a segment of what I taught. The last couple of weeks, I have been teaching high schools, and I've taught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids. I taught 600 kids. I've taught 30 classes of these kids of all shapes and forms, all abilities. Some kids had some special needs. Some kids were just cranking. Some kids were on top of it. Some kids were athletes and screwing off. But we had a really fun time because we ripped up money. We destroyed money. We had a money tree. Kids ran up and grabbed money off the money tree. We gave them money to answer the right questions. We played Kahoot. And we signed up about 500 of them. Well, actually, close to 550, almost 600 of these students now have access to these wonderful classes. And, the question is, what is the purpose of school? Why are you going to school? What is the real purpose of school? Well, the purpose of school is to learn how to be successful. And so the stuff I taught was right out of the two books that we've created, Success and Money Secrets and Success and Money Habits. Success and Money Habits is the 7 habits and steps for a successful and wealthy life. That's the basis of the information that I teach. And in the foundation, we have a whole bunch of best-selling authors and educators and entrepreneurs. And I'm just one of them. I happen to be the founder, but I'm just one of them. And then the second one is the Success and Money Secrets, which is the 3 books in one, which takes the 7 Habits book, and then we added some book summaries and 101 quotes. But, this is some of the stuff I taught them, and I'd really like to kind of show you what it is and how it all works. But, we are a nonprofit educational foundation. We're a nonprofit educational foundation. We're an educational charity. And our goal is to have fun. Our goal is to teach you about money in a very fun way because life's a game and games are fun. Life's a game and games are fun. Money's a game and games are fun. Success is a game, and success and money are fun. So let's go have some fun with it. We're not curing cancer here. We're not doing surgery on anybody. We're just playing the game. Now, I want you to be thinking that if all you did was, would it be worth it? If all you did was make more money and invest it, would it be worth it? Absolutely. If all you did was attend class and learned one secret, would it be worth it? If all you did was create a habit and habitually put 10% away of every paycheck you get for long-term investing, would it be worth it? Yes, it would be worth it. There's a ton of things that if you simply do one little thing, it would be worth it. If all you did was start investing and not gamble, would it be worth it? Would your life be better if you had a little bit of extra money on the side for emergencies? Money's not good. Money's not bad. Money's neutral. It doesn't do anything. All money does is make you more of what you are. So our goal is to make you more of what you are, which is a loving, giving person. But if all you did was this, would it be worth it? So I want you to be thinking about that as you go through your life, your day, your week. If all I did was make one more sale and took that extra money and invested it, would it be worth it? If all I did was teach my kid and he didn't even listen to me, but I planted a seed, would it be worth it? Yes, it would be worth it. Yes, it would be worth it. Yes, it would be worth it. Now, some of these money seeds take years to grow. Some of these are going to pop right away. Your job is to continually to plant money seeds. It's your job to continually water those trees. It's your job is to help your children. You give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you can take him fishing, not tell him how to fish, not give him a memo about it, but take him fishing. And he learns how to fish and learns how to cook, you can feed him for a lifetime. But if you can teach him how to teach his kids, and they all go fishing, and they all learn how to do it, you can change a generation. Well, that's what we're doing. We're changing a whole generation. And the way we do that is face to face, toe to toe, one student at a time, one family member at a time, one high school at a time. That's how we do it. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about how all the foundation got started and a little bit about me. I was born in a small little town in central Utah. My graduating class, these kids I was teaching, they have more kids in their grade, in their own individual grade, than I had in my whole high school class. I only had 86 of us kids in my graduating class. So the beauty of that is I got a chance to do a lot of things. Even though I wasn't very great compared to others, I got a chance to do a lot of things. I got to be on student council. I got to play athletics. And if you just had some guts and gumption and persistence, you could be on the team. And I grew up, had a wonderful life, served a Christian mission for our church, went to school at a college, fell in love with the girl of my dreams. We got married. We have 5 children and 4 grandchildren. But when I was 34, something happened to me. I actually had a heart attack. And as they were wheeling me into the operating room, I wondered, was I coming back? And if I didn't come back, who was going to take care of these 2 special needs children of mine? So I've got 2 special needs children that really need financial help the rest of their life. And it scared me to death. And I vowed to take better care of myself. I got one artery in my heart that has kind of a hard left turn that, there's extra sediment there, which created a real problem. And I knew I had to figure out how to make enough money to take care of these special needs kids. And I needed to put them into some special programs. And the only program that was available all those years ago, the main one was up at UCLA in Los Angeles at the university there. And it was $40,000 to go to that program. And I'd have to move to Los Angeles and get a job there and put my son in that program. And I got advice from my mom and dad. I got advice from other people. And then I sat down with my friend Robert Allen, who wrote the book Multiple Streams of Income. And he said, Tom, we've got to figure out how to make enough money that you can put your kids in whatever program you want and never, ever regret it. You need to go figure out how to make enough money that you can put your children in whatever program that you want and never regret it. And so my wife and I went to work. We started with little houses. Found a little house. We'd fix it. We'd flip it. Some houses, some little fourplexes we found, we liked, we kept those. I started doing little businesses and doing all that. And it grew and grew and grew. Now, my mom and my dad especially, taught us kids. And he didn't just teach us, we did it. When I was a teenager, I had my own stock account. My dad's 4 days older than Warren Buffett. And my dad taught us kids the same principles that Warren Buffett taught his kids. The difference was that we did it. I had my own stock account. I was buying stock as a teenager. I was working at a truck stop as a dishwasher. I got a job as a dishwasher, and then eventually was cashier, and I flipped burgers. I was a lifeguard. I did all kinds of stuff to make money. But I also had little businesses, and those little businesses I made money. And as I made that money, I was able to make about 12% on my money. And so I was doubling my money every 6 years. So the seed was planted. Some of the things that I did in my career were things that I learned as a teenager from my dad. And I just added a whole bunch of zeros to it. Um, and so I had this wonderful set of parents that taught us how to be compassionate capitalists. My parents were very giving. They were very helpful, and they really wanted to help a lot of people. And that really was a flexion of what we learned. And that's what you're here for. Your job is to be able to teach those you love. Not just teach them, but go do it. What's more important, money, knowledge, or experience? Money, knowledge, or experience? Well, actually, the experience is more important. Money is one thing. I give you money, it's coming in, it goes out. Every dollar that comes into your world, every dollar is either destroyed or grown. Now, when you go work hard at a job, you make money at that job, and you've got to make money at that job to be able to survive. We get that. But when you get paid, you are destroying that money because you've got to buy food and utilities and gas and housing and stuff like that. And every dollar gets destroyed. You're either destroying it or you're making it grow. And so we've got to teach you how to get 10 to 15% of that money out and get it to grow. We've got to teach you how to make more money and how to get it to grow and how to get it to grow faster. Well, short story, I was very lucky. I did all those things that I was taught. And when I turned 60, my wife and I had a big decision to make. We had a decision to make. Either we were going to go build another big company or we are going to do a foundation. Now, we had started the foundation years before that, and we were very giving with a lot of that money. But money's easy. I mean, writing a check's easy. It'd be so much easier if all I had to do was write a check. But actually teaching and taking the time and building the systems, that's what's hard. And that's why I'm so appreciative of Bill Gates, because not only is he given the money, but he's given the time and energy to go fix some of these problems. Warren Buffett's given 99% of his money away. There are people that we want to mentor and be mentored by. And so we started this foundation. And what we did is we took some of the real estate and we donated the real estate to the foundation, $3 million into the foundation. As it makes money, we give that money away. And we've given away money to thousands and thousands and thousands of students who have gone online, gone to class, because I'm not just going to give it to you. Give a man a fish and feed him for a day. My job is to teach you how to fish and have you go fish. And then I'm going to give you some rewards. Now, you don't need us. You don't need our rewards, but in case you do, we've got a little bit there to help you so that there's no excuse of why you can't get started. And it's grown and grown and grown. And yesterday I turned 66 years of age. And one of the fun things, one of these questions I ask these kids in school is, hey, I'm 66, you're 16. How about if we trade? I want to be 16 again and you can be 66. And they go, nah, we don't want that trade. Well, how about if I give you $10 million to go with it? I get to be 16, you get to be 66, and you can have $10 million. Nah, how about 20 million? And you'll always get one. Sometimes you get one smart alecky kid says, I'll take that deal. And I says, good. Okay, so here's what else you got to do. Now, I got hearing aids. I've had 2 back surgeries. My back hurts. My legs hurt standing here right now. I've got a bad heart. Hopefully it's stronger now. And I've got 2 special needs adult children you got to take care of. And I get to be 16 again. I get to keep my knowledge. You got to keep your knowledge and you got to take on this extra burden. How many want to do the deal now? And they go, no way, I don't want to do that deal. The greatest asset that you have, the greatest asset your children have is time. Is time. The greatest problem they have, the greatest deficiency they have is they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the experience. The experience is more important than the knowledge. Well, if I give you one thing, money, knowledge, or a good experience about money, or a bad experience about money, if you can learn from it, that's what we're trying to do. And it's okay to learn and fail. It's all right to fail. In fact, we teach them when we play these fun games, it's a 50-50 shot at playing these games. We play this Kahoot game like we've done here before. And you're going to get it wrong. Great. Your job's to get it wrong and learn from it. So we ask the question, they get it wrong, and then we ask the exact same question again, and they all get it right. Your job's to make mistakes and learn from it. And that's what we do. And so we've taught these kids, and it's been pretty crazy. We literally have taught 600 kids in the last 2 weeks, and it's been really pretty crazy. So in order to get the foundation up and rolling, my wife and I donated $3 million to the foundation. And that money came from real stuff. It came from real estate. It came from stock. And we are a network. We're a network of students and teachers and parents and best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs. But first of all, we're a network of students and teachers and parents that are all dedicated. Our purpose, everybody in the foundation's job is to help others to have a better life. The purpose of the foundation, the purpose as a parent, the purpose of a student is to help you and your family and your friends to have a better life. I've been all over the world. I've been to 50 countries. I've pretty much seen everything I want to see. I've been all over India. I've been all over China. I've been all over everywhere that I want to go. And the one thing I know for sure is that parents want to help their children to have a better life. Everywhere I go, I've seen it. Parents want to help their children have a better life. And the problem is that this is probably going to be one of the first and second generations where your children are not going to have a better life than you. Why? Because the governments of the world can't balance their budgets. And so what do? They just continually spend and borrow. They're adding trillions of dollars to the national credit card, if you will. And it's causing all kinds of problems. And so these kids, when they get to be my age, their world's going to be very different than it is for their parents. Russia, BRICS, you've heard of BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, and 30, 40 other countries are ganging up on the United States and other places because they got hungry mouths to feed. You know, I look at China. I've been all over China. I saw areas where there were 16 families living in this little area, and they had one bathroom to share. You know, I get it. There's a 1.4 billion people in India. I've been to Calcutta. I've been to the slums. We help women start small businesses. And so we've taught people how to be able to do that. So I've been all over the world and I've seen that firsthand. And the world is changing. The world is changing, and we've got to help you to have a better life. And we want to help you and your family and friends to have a better life. Now, how do we do that? We do it by providing free success and money classes for anyone, anywhere. Our goal is to provide free success and money classes for anyone, anywhere. And the purpose of that is to help you to have that better life. Now, we have three missions. We have three missions. Mission number one is to help those in need. That's our top priority of what we do. Number two is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. And number three is to help schools and churches and groups to do this together, because I know that if you do it together, you will rack up more hours because we're a competitive bunch. And we like to play games, and games, life's a game and games are fun. Now, number one is to help those in need. So for every hour you go to class, the foundation is going to donate a pair of eyeglasses, we're going to feed someone, or we're going to provide gallons of clean water to help those in need. And the foundation's given well over $1.5 million to help all kinds of organizations all over the world. Yesterday, for my birthday, I helped 7 organizations. That's, you know, it's a reverse birthday. I want to give. And so literally I got on my phone and we literally sent out money to 7 organizations yesterday for my birthday. Number two is to help you, your family, and friends. Now, our students have already earned well over $190,000 in cash prizes and rewards for their investment accounts. And that number's growing, growing, growing. And we've got thousands and thousands of students that have actually earned financial rewards. Now, you don't need us, but if you need a little extra money, then we're here to help you. And, you know, teaching these kids in school, the question was, what is your purpose of being in school? The purpose of you being in school is to learn how to be successful. The reason you're in school is to learn how to be successful, to have a better life. And here we have students. Here's a student right here that's been online for 449 hours. They're a senior in high school. The next senior's at 324 hours. Look at the class of 2024, class of 25. You know, 170 hours, 130 hours, 180 hours, 60 hours, and on and on and on, all the way down to 0. We have a whole bunch of students that didn't do anything. You got your free agency in this life. But that's pretty amazing. And number two is to help students. And so we've got students that have made, four figures, thousands and thousands of dollars by going to online classes, and more importantly, by sharing with others. So these guys here that have earned a lot bit more money, they're sharing with others. And we had a big decision to make when we did the foundation. My wife and I had a big decision. We could either take this money that we've put into the foundation and create some classes and then just go put advertising on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that, or give it to you. Now, the way we really measure our success is by how successful our students are. And if there's only one thing that we accomplished, one thing was is that we taught you how to put 10 to 15% away of your salary, your income coming in, and habitually create a habit of investing it, then we won. Because that will help you to be financially free. Now, it's not going to, you have to be financially free. You've got to be there because the governments of the world are printing so much money, inflation's coming, and it's just ugly. I've seen it. I've been all over the world. I've seen it firsthand. I know what's coming. And the bridge is out. You're on this road and the bridge is out, and you're going to go over the cliff. We're going to give you a new road and a new bridge so that it doesn't have to be that way. So we want to help you get there. And so we give our money students money for doing things. And you can earn money from the foundation. And again, but it's got to go in your investment account. If I give you a dollar, you're going to destroy it. So this is the most important thing, is to do that. Now we've got a couple of high schools that are competing with each other. And so now here's the financial rewards that they've earned so far, which is pretty cool. Now we help schools and churches and groups and all kinds of things like that. And you can see our top high school has been online for 3,000 hours and 9 hours average. That's incredible. Looking at the average, we've got two schools that I just started a little fun competition with American Fork and with Lone Peak. They don't like each other. They're rivals. Exactly what we want. So we do this where schools compete with each other, grades compete with each other, students compete with each other, who compete with each other all around the world at the same time. So we've made this really fun competition between these two schools, and that's really kind of fun. Now, number three is to help schools. And so if we have schools here in America, it'll be a little bit different for you in different places around the world. Then we give out referral fees for doing that. Now, one of the questions I ask these kids is, how much would you pay? How much would you pay if I taught you a secret and guaranteed that you would make $1 million? So that's the offer. How much would you pay me or somebody else to teach you a secret and guarantee that you would make $1 million? And there's 20 or 30 kids in the kids, and so I can only teach the secret to three of you. So how much would you pay? What would you be willing to pay? And I got kids raising, I'd give you the $1 million. Because once I knew how to do it, I could make another $1 million. Kids are saying, I'd give you 800,000 of it. I'd give you 700,000 of it, or 500,000 of it. I'd give it all to you to learn that secret. We give out financial rewards, but the reality is we are giving something way more important than the financial rewards. We are giving knowledge. We're giving inspiration, and we're getting people to do stuff. They're actually pulling the trigger. Just like my dad taught me, and you're going to fail and fail fast. It's okay to fail. You got to fail fast and then learn from it. And so the question is, how much would you pay if we taught you that? Because everything we teach is valuable, and we want you to know how valuable it is. So how much would you pay if I taught you a secret and guaranteed it? And I got kids that'll say, well, I'll give you $500,000. I'll give you half of it, or 700,000 of it, or 800,000 of it. Well, the simple reality is that if you simply walked across the street at the McDonald's here in America and you got a job and they paid you $10 an hour, you would have literally $1 million go through your fingertips. You're going to have $1 million go through your fingertips. Every one of these kids are going to have 1, 3, 5, 10, $20 million go through their fingertips in their lifetime. And they go, oh, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. But I said, okay, well, how about if I guaranteed that you would have a net worth? Now you got to work a job. You can't just sit on your butt. You got to work a job, and we'll keep you at that same job, McDonald's, Jollibee, whatever it is, and it makes $10 an hour. How much would you have? And I'll get that same reaction. Well, I'll give you $500,000 of it. I'll give you 800,000 of it if you guarantee me that I have a net worth You're going to teach me the secret, and you guaranteed that I'd have that. All right. Well, all you got to do is guarantee to me that you will go work that job at 10 bucks an hour and that you would do one thing. You take 10% of that money, invest 10% of that salary at 6%. That you would take 10% of that money and invest it at 6%. And if you would do that, you'd have $1 million. You'd have $1 million net worth. Now, the good news is you'd have $1 million. The bad news is $1 million isn't going to be enough. $1 million isn't enough now. When I was a kid, excuse me, when I got married, my wife and I have been married for 40 years. First house we bought was 40,000 bucks. That house is 400 grand now. That's going to be 4 million when these kids get to be my age. Why? Because the governments can't balance their budget. So what do? They print more money. As they print more money, it just makes everything more expensive. If you own stuff, we appreciate it because it's appreciating in value. If you don't, then it's inflation and it's coming to rob you and it's hurting you and it's making it so that you can't have a better life. So every one of them is going to be that if they simply do a couple little things like this. Now, I got some good news, some bad news, and some good news. Some good news, some bad news, and some good news. And I asked these kids, what do you want to hear first? And guess what they want to hear? They want to hear the bad news. Well, tell me the bad news. The bad news is you're screwed. You're in trouble. And you don't see it because we're in our own little bubble. We're playing sports, we're hanging out with our friends. We don't really care what else is going on in our country. We don't really care what's going on in Canada or Mexico. We don't really care about what's going on in the rest of the world. But guess what? You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I've driven that road before and the bridge is out. And you're going to go right off that cliff. Not tomorrow, not you're going to go off that cliff unless you take a different road now. You've got to and you can wait a couple years and take that road. But if you stay on that road, you're pinched. You're going to run right to the very edge. The bridge is out and you're going to go off the cliff, or you're going to have to back it all up and then go back in and take the fork and go where you need to go. That's the bad news. And the bad news is the governments can't balance their budget. So what do? They print more money. And when they print more money, they make everything worthless. But the good news is it doesn't have to be that way for you. The good news is that each one of you are going to make, manage, and spend money if you'll just create a habit of investing, making more money, and investing, then it'll be worth it. So that's the good news. The bad news is that if you don't, you're in trouble. But the good news is that a group of best-selling authors and educators, entrepreneurs and school teachers and parents and other students just like you are doing this together to help each other. We're nonprofit. We're an educational foundation. We're not doing this for the money. We're doing this to make and help you to have a better life. And the big piece is that every dollar that you make, every peso you make, every yuan you make that comes into your world, you're either going to make it grow or you're going to destroy it. Now, you have to destroy a lot of money to live. You go work a job, you get paid, and guess what? You got to have food on the table. You got to have a place to stay. You got to put gas in the car. I get that. On your scooter, I get that. But every dollar that comes into your world, you're either going to make it grow or you're going to destroy it. And a lot of people are destroying it on stupid things like interest and credit card interest. And they're putting your money in the bank at 0% and it's not growing. And they're taking your money and loaning it back to you on your own credit card. And you're charging you 21%. They're doubling their money every 3.4 years off your credit card, and you never double your money because they're not paying you anything. And they took the money right out of your checking account. Let's say you had $1,000 on your credit card and you have $1,000 into your savings account or your checking account. Guess what? They simply took your money out of your savings account, your checking account, and loaned it back to you on your credit card. They're paying you nothing over here. It never ever doubles, and they're doubling their money every 3.4 years. If all you learned was that the bank's not your friend, it would be worth it. If all you learned that the bank's in it for them, they're in there trying to make a buck. I get it. They got stockholders. That's why Warren Buffett loves to invest in banks. Then it would be worth it. If all you learned was the credit card company is going to try and take your money and charge you as much interest as they possibly can, which is flushing money down the toilet for you. And if all you learned that the life's a game and games are fun and money's a game and games are fun and we're going to play a game and we're going to have some fun, it would be worth it. Every dollar you make is either going to grow or you're going to destroy it. Every dollar, every yuan, every peso. So with that being said, I want you to be thinking about your bucket list. So, we talk about the 7 steps, and a lot of people are going, well, here's the problem with most schools is they say, all right, well, here's the first thing we're going to teach you. The first thing we're going to teach you is to build a budget. Well, that's like saying, let's go have some lunch. And the first thing we're going to teach you is we're going to give you is broccoli and spinach. And we're going to cook the spinach until it's horrible and it's not any fun. Screw that. I don't want that. No, it's a bucket list. So I want all of you to get out a piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to build a bucket list. Now, when you create a bucket list, we're going to use a thing we call mind mapping. And mind mapping is where we literally are going to come up with some ideas. And what we do is we come up with the main idea right here. And that's your main idea. That's your main idea right here. And then we're going to have all kinds of sub ideas. Okay. So in this example right here, we're going to use travel just because that's one of the things that should be on your bucket list. Travel and say, okay, well, where do you want to go? Well, different places I want to go. I want to go to Switzerland. I want to go to let's say I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Japan. Been all these places. I want to go to Italy. Okay, so if I want to go to Italy, where do you want to go? Well, I want to go to Rome. Definitely go to Rome. And I'd like to be able to go to Pisa. I want to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And when I go to Rome, what do I want to see? I want to see the Colosseum. I want to see the Vatican. What else do you want to see? Well, I want to see the Vatican. I want to see the Colosseum, and all these different places. Now, when you do this, what happens is that you can concentrate on one thing. I can say, well, I want to go to Capri, whatever it is. Now, when you concentrate, well, I'm concentrating on travel. Now I'm just thinking about Italy. And when I go to Italy, I want to go to Rome. And when I go to Rome, here are the 3 things go off Rome. So you can concentrate on one thing. I can concentrate in Italy, but now I'm just going to concentrate on Rome, and then I can concentrate on the things that go around there. Most people are juggling all this stuff in their head at the same time. Not only travel, but everything else that's going on in your world. So first thing you do in the morning is just tell your brain, hey, I'm going to forget about it at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, whenever you shut your mind down. Let it work in the subconscious. Then in the morning, it'll all come back, and the stuff that's important will come back to you. And then this is my to-do list. This is what I got to get done. But these are different projects. These are different projects. I'm using travel as an example. So here's a project. Well, there's a project. Figure out how to get to Italy. Well, I go to Italy, I want to go to Rome. When I go to Rome, I want to get to Vatican. When I get to Vatican, I want to see the Sistine Chapel. I want to figure out how to get in to see the Sistine Chapel, you know, and this is how you'll do that. And then it gets out of your head, and then I can concentrate on one thing. I'm concentrating on Italy, or I'm concentrating on Rome, or I'm concentrating what I've got to do in here. And I don't have to think about all the rest of this stuff at the same time. So if you'll do that, that will make a difference. So let's talk about our bucket list. So everybody get out a piece of paper, and I want you to draw a circle right in the middle of it, right here. And we're going to create a bucket list. We're going to create a bucket list. So what's on our bucket list? Well, what's a bucket list? A bucket list is all the things you want to do before you die. All right. That's a little grim, isn't it? All the things you want to do before you die. And let's start with things that you want to do. And throw in the chat if you know where these places are, because we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. And when we do this with the schools, we literally have a lot of fun doing this. All right. So what's on your bucket list? Well, on the bucket list up here is, how many of you want to go to Disneyland? Well, I love Disneyland. My special needs kids love Disneyland. This is one group that we took, and we took 36 of us to Disneyland. We uh, put them on a bus, drove to the airport, put them on a plane, flew to California, spent the day at Disneyland, did 22 rides, took them back, put them on an airplane, and took them home, all in the same day. That was fun for us because we got a chance to take these kids. Now, this is my special needs son right here in the middle, right? As you look at Mickey's hand, as Mickey's got his hand up, well, that's my special needs son right here. And we took these other kids. that had never been there. This little boy right here, right behind Minnie, right here is blind. And guess what? He got to drive a car. He got to drive a car on Autotopia and he's blind, but he was able to drive a car. Well, that's an experience that he won't forget. Um, Pyramids. So what else is on your bucket list? Well, I've been to the pyramids. I've been in that middle one right there. Um, Claustrophobic as I'll get out. There's tunnels that took us right to the one of the main rooms that's right there. Guess what's in it? Nothing. They went in there and robbed the place. And this used to have the beautiful, beautiful uh, stone on the outside of this thing. Well, guess what? They came in and took it all. They just, somebody else took it. But that's on your bucket list. We asked kids, where's this? What's this? Well, that happens to be the Matterhorn. Well, where is the Matterhorn? Well, it's in Switzerland. Where else is it? Well, it happens to be in Disneyland. Disneyland, are you kidding? No, it's in Disneyland. And why is it in Disneyland? Because Walt loved to travel and he traveled to he traveled to Switzerland, saw the Matterhorn, and he's got a postcard and sent it back to California and says, build me one of these. See, Walt didn't create a ton of this stuff. Everybody thinks that Walt created all this stuff. No, Walt created Oswald the Rabbit and Mickey Mouse. And he did the voice for Mickey for a while, but then he built stuff. He and his brother Roy built stuff. And they didn't make stuff up. They weren't, he was very creative of taking other people's material and licensing it and then finding another method for it to be able to tell it. Um, that's what his genius was. And he didn't get the idea for Disneyland out of his own head. He was in Denmark. He saw Tivoli Gardens, which is way older. And he says, and he got asked all kinds of questions, and he designed his park similar to that. There's all kinds of parks. Coney Island are way, way older than Disneyland. But everybody thinks that he created it. Well, no, he didn't create it, but he learned from other people. And so we have a lot of fun with that. It's all over the place. Where's this? Well, that's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And why is it famous? Well, it's famous because it's leaning. No, it's famous because Galileo took two balls, a big one and a small one, dropped them from the top, and they all fell at the same rate. He proved gravity was similar. Um, Venice, here's Venice. If you're gonna go travel, go to Venice. You got to go see Venice. The water's only like 6 feet deep. It's not that deep, but it's incredible. It's been around for many, many years. This is the Colosseum, and it is the size of some very big university football fields. They could put 50,000 people in this thing 2,000 years ago. They actually filled it up with water and had water battles in this place. You got to go to Tahiti. Got to go to Tahiti and stay in one of these incredible places, and they're not cheap. They're very, very expensive. The Taj Mahal. This is another place that my family's been. This is my daughter. I've been all over the world. We've done all kinds of humanitarian aid projects, and we got a chance to see stuff. And what's amazing about this Taj Mahal is that there's two dead people in it. That's it. It's a crypt. There's nothing in there except for dead people. And it's not even a mosque where anybody can use it. It's basically the king and queen were buried there, and that's it. And it took them 20 years and 20,000 volunteers, aka probably a lot of them were slaves, to build this. So that's really not all that impressive. Okay, this is the Matterhorn on your list. On your list, you got to go to the Matterhorn. And I've seen. I'm sorry, that's Everest. My mistake. That's Everest. And I've seen the tallest mountain in the world by airplane multiple times. They take scenic flights right over the top of it. And I love helicopters, and so we rent helicopters. And I've seen it from the Tibet side. I've seen it from the Kathmandu side. And the one thing that's interesting is you talk about the S&P 500 and Coca-Cola. Guess what? I've had a Coca-Cola right down this little cafe that they have there right below Everest. It's everywhere. Everywhere I've been around the world, I've always been able to find a Coca-Cola product. Many of you want to be able to go on cruises and stuff like that. And so, my question is, would you and your group like to earn cash prizes and stock for simply watching videos and sharing with others and referring groups? Yes, if you would, well, good. And we give kids money for coming to those classes. And would you like to compete with other schools? Would you like to compete with other grades? Would you like to compete with other students all over the world that compete with each other at the same time? Because we want to make this fun. And we give money to different schools, and then we just basically put up this QR code and we sign up people. And we signed up literally, I signed up almost 600 kids by putting up a QR code. They go in and fill it out. They say they're part of a school, register, and then we will go in and put the school in there for you so your school can compete with other groups. And we do that with schools, we do it with churches, we do it with all kinds of things because that's number three. We wanted to create this fun platform so that you could do this together. So anyway, just kind of wrapping this up, you know, the bridge is out. I've been all over the world. I've studied economics. I studied economics starting in college, and it's a game for me. I love learning about it. I love understanding how things work. When we go to Disneyland with my special needs kid, they love to do the rides. I look at everything. Well, how did Walt do this? And how did he get the money to do that? And how did Roy do that? And I learn from it. And then we incorporate that into our own world and the things that we're doing. So, guys, money's a game and games are fun. Life's a game and games are fun. Success is a game and games are fun. So let's go have some fun. And the thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is to go help somebody in their life. If all you did was to share your link and you share it with someone and then you watch them open up and fill out the information. So literally, these 600 kids that we did, I had them pull up the QR code and it's on my phone and it's on the screen. So I'd put it on the screen. And because they're school, they'd all scan it and then they'd fill out the information. I said, look, there's no pressure to do this. We're nonprofit. We're like Khan Academy. We're educational and you can earn prizes by doing it, but there's no pressure to do this. If you want to, great. If you don't, you don't have to. We're not selling stuff to you. We're just giving. And they just pull up their phone and they fill out the information. Put your first name, last name, a good email. You got to have a good email and don't use your school email. Use a Gmail account or something like that because we want to be able to get information to you. A good phone number because a good text number for us in order to send you money for your investment accounts, we've got to be able to verify a few things. And you fill all that out, put your school in, and then after they do that, it goes ching ching ching, and you earn money, ding ding ding, because you made an extra $3 just for signing up. And then we go to the top three lines and say, all right, now here's how you get started. Go to the three lines at the top, go over to number two courses, and here's all the ways you start. Start at the top and go down. And what I recommend people doing is that they start with the Success and Money Secrets, Success and Money Habits. This is the overview. This is the 7 steps. This is the stuff that if you'll go through, it will make it very, very simple. And this whole book is online. You can go to courses and then go down to the downloads and you can read it online or you can go to Amazon and order it for basically the cost of the book. If there is any royalty that gets donated to the foundation. And there's quotes, there's best-selling books, there's all kinds of stuff in there. And that's the next layer. So what I teach is the 7 steps, and then we go into the next layer to it and go deeper into it. And then each of those steps, each of those habits have more and more depth to it that we go into all kinds of classes to be able to teach that. So that's kind of the system on it, guys. I'm just going to encourage you to go share your link, go share with others. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you take him fishing, teach him how to fish, have fun fishing, eat the fish, survive, make money off the fish, whatever. You can feed him for a lifetime. But if you could teach him to take his family and go teach them how to fish, then you can change a whole generation. That's your job, is to make the world a better place. And that's how you do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Share your link. Help other people. Get them started. Because once you enroll them, now you're their cheerleader. Now the work begins. And you can go to the leaderboard and you can see all the people you've enrolled. Now you go in there and congratulate them. Get them going. You'd be surprised at how many people get a free membership and then don't do a thing. The bridge is out. I'm on that road. I've driven that road. And these kids, your family and friends, is on the wrong road. They're going to get to the end and the bridge is crickety. They go over that bridge, it's going to collapse on them. They're going to go down into it's just not good. Let's back up the car. Let's take a different road and let's go over to where the bridge is safe.